Hello and welcome back to another video on high altitude investing. In today's video, we are going to be talking about Dogecoin and how I personally think it can hit $10 this cycle. Now, before we get started, we are going to start with the smaller time frame and talk a little bit about where I think Dogecoin is going to go in the short term. Then we'll zoom out to the bigger picture and talk about how I personally believe Dogecoin can hit $10 before the bull market is over. So let's get started here on the smaller time frame. So first and foremost, you can see that on the daily candlesticks, we do have a complete market cycle with a full Elliott wave impulse. So we have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. Then we have our ABC correction back down. Wave A, wave B, and wave C. So that's a complete Elliott wave cycle impulse. If you guys don't know about Elliott waves, all you got to do is look it up on Google and do a little bit of research. There's a lot of information out there to better understand Elliott waves so you can be a better trader and investor. They're super powerful. And a lot of times, just understanding the correct Elliott wave count is a great way to start making money in these markets consistently. So let's go back over here to Dogecoin. You can see we do have a complete Elliott wave cycle here on Dogecoin. So that's really good here in the short term. Also, you can see we have started to move up a little bit off of these lows, come back down to major support. So this is exactly like what happened last time over the summer correction last year. As you can see, we had a very similar market structure. So let's go ahead and do this. We've got wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. Then we have our ABC correction down. And then the same thing happened right here that's happening currently on Dogecoin, where we started to break out, then we come back down to major support, and then Dogecoin did go ahead and bottom out right here and go up for another high. That's what I personally believe is coming here for Dogecoin in the near future, is a reversal off of its lows. And once we do see a reversal off of these local lows, I do expect a big vertical move, just like what we saw after this ABC correction was complete. I think the same thing is going to happen over here on Dogecoin. So you can see our ABC correction down, and I do believe we will see a very strong reversal off of these lows. So that's what I see in the near future here on the daily for Dogecoin. Now let's talk a little bit about the bigger time frame. In the bigger picture, we do have the beginning of a bull market. Just like how we counted our Elliott waves on the smaller time frame, you can also count the Elliott waves here on the bigger time frame. So we have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. Then we get our ABC correction down to major support. We have started to bottom out off of these lows, and you can see we've started a bull market here. So this is the beginning of something very big for Dogecoin, and kind of what I see happening here is a lot like what happened to Bitcoin back in 2015. So let's pull up Bitcoin over here on the right, and you guys will get a pretty good idea of what's happening to Dogecoin today. So let's pull it up here. So here's Bitcoin back in 2015. And as you can see, this really is the same exact market structure that we're seeing on Dogecoin today. So we have a full ABC correction over here on Bitcoin, and then we start to bottom out. We start a bull market here, but we do have corrections along the way up. Some of those corrections being pretty big here, as you can see, just like what we saw over here on Dogecoin. So the structure between these two markets is surprisingly similar. So in the big picture, we are experiencing a reversal off of this market cycle into a new bull market. And what we do want to see here for Dogecoin is, again, on the daily candlesticks, for us to start to turn around here and start to head up to major resistance and break through that level, because that will really confirm here in the bigger picture that we are headed for a big picture bull market that will take us all the way to a new all-time high. Now, what can that look like here for Dogecoin? Well, this is where we start to look at price targets and the potentials for how high Dogecoin can go, because a lot of people don't realize what can happen when mass adoption happens for a technology. And that's exactly what I believe is coming for Dogecoin is mass adoption and for the entirety of the crypto markets. So let's go ahead and measure our targets here. So if you measure from our peak low to our peak high and back down to our peak low again, you get Fibonacci extensions with the Fibonacci extension tool. And that gives us our highest extensions here for Bitcoin when it broke out into a bull market. Now, Bitcoin went from being worth about $180 all the way to $20,000. So that's a pretty big gain. That's huge percentage gains from the lows up to the next local high. And you can see that went to the 16,618, which was around $20,000 per Bitcoin. Then it saw a bear market and broke out to another all-time high. But that's kind of the level that we see here based on Fibonacci ratios where Bitcoin reached before a bear market started. Now, if we look here on Dogecoin, we can actually see a very similar structure. So let's measure from our peak low to our peak high and then back to our peak low. And this will give us an idea of potential targets. Now, I'm not saying it's guaranteed to go to $10 per coin. And actually, if it was to go as high as Bitcoin did, it would actually go higher than $10 per coin, right? Because Bitcoin went to the 17,618, which would actually be $12 per Dogecoin. But I'm playing it conservative. I know this target sounds crazy to a lot of people, but I've seen the way these markets move. I've seen just how high they can expand when the hype comes. And with a mass adoption cycle coming, I do fully believe the Dogecoin will blow everybody's expectations away and go way higher than most people's biggest targets. And a lot of people's biggest targets for Dogecoin are like $5 or $3. I think people are shooting way too low. I personally believe, based on market cycle analysis and everything I've seen over the past 9 years of running this YouTube channel and learning everything I possibly can about these markets, is that Dogecoin could hit upwards of $10 before a major bear market. So that's crazy to think about, I know, but the 13,618 is definitely possible for Dogecoin in the big picture, which would completely blow people away and make a lot of people super rich. So it's worth 17 cents right now. So you can imagine just how much profit you could make from now until $10. So this is what I honestly see coming for Dogecoin in the big picture, is a massive Elliott wave impulse and a big picture extended fifth wave. So just like what happened to Bitcoin back here in 2017, when Bitcoin really started to take off and saw a big picture bull market and saw an extended fifth wave here, that's what I personally believe is coming here for Dogecoin, is a big picture extended fifth wave and the potential of us reaching upwards of $10 per Dogecoin. And I know it might sound crazy right now, and it could be kind of hard to imagine that happening, but you got to look at the big picture. You got to do back testing and analyze these cycles and just take a look at what's happening with crypto. Crypto is headed for mass adoption. That's what we're headed for. And if you can believe it or not, but that's what everything is set up for. All of the big institutions, governments adopting crypto. Crypto is set up for mass adoption. Just like what happened to the internet. After the internet bubble popped, then we went into mass adoption for the internet. And everybody uses the internet to this day. And it's only grown since then. So with mass adoption coming for crypto, I firmly believe that between now and wherever this bull market tops out at, in terms of what date that it tops out, nobody knows. It could be 2029. Whatever date this bull market tops out at, mass adoption is coming for crypto. And mass adoption means the price is going to go to levels people can't even imagine. And I personally believe $10 per coin is definitely possible based on what we've seen with historical cycles for Dogecoin. So don't be shocked, you guys, if Dogecoin starts to break out here in the big picture and blows people's expectations away, goes well over $1 per coin, starts to head up to $3, $5, and even $10 per Dogecoin. Now, I'm not saying it's guaranteed to go to 10. We could top out sooner. It could top out at 7. It could top out at 8. It could top out at 5, or it could top out at 13. Nobody knows for sure where Dogecoin is going to go. But based on historical cycles, based on everything I know about crypto, I do believe we are headed for a big picture bull market and something very similar to what happened in 2017, only this one could be longer. This bull market could last till 2026 or 2027 or even 2029. If this truly is the mass adoption cycle, this bull market can go way higher than what most people are expecting. Everything is set up for mass adoption. So just stay focused on the big picture, ignore the news, ignore the FUD, and just focus on the charts. The charts tell you everything that you need to know. They tell you exactly what to do with your money. And what I personally believe is coming for Dogecoin is way bigger than what most people are looking at. They just don't have the vision to see what's truly happening here. And when you zoom out and look at the charts, you start to see things as they really are. And what we see here with Dogecoin is the opportunity to make an insane amount of profit over the next few years, or couple years, or 4 years, or whatever. But I do believe we will reach upwards of $10 per coin before all of this is over. The biggest wealth transfer in the history of humanity is about to happen. So don't get caught up in the news. Don't get caught up in the things that are taking you away from looking at the reality of what's going on here with the crypto markets. Otherwise, you guys are going to walk away from this and wish you had invested more money. So yeah, just stay focused on what's really happening here in the big picture. And I can promise you guys that you will be financially rewarded for that. Now, for a more conservative target on Dogecoin, if you don't want to go quite as crazy, I would say $5.50 is a more conservative target for Dogecoin, a little bit more reasonable. But don't be surprised if this bull market exceeds people's expectations and goes higher than our minimum targets. Now, I had one of my members in the comment section request that I do analysis on stellar lumens, so we're going to go ahead and do some analysis on stellar lumens. So for me, stellar lumens looks a lot like the early day accumulation cycle on NVIDIA before NVIDIA was mass adopted by the public. You can see a very similar pattern here. We did get a big breakout here in the shorter time frames on the daily, where we did see a nice move up here. And I do think this move will continue to go up. I believe we will continue to break out here on XLM and see a new all-time high for this coin. Now, because we are headed into mass adoption for crypto, who knows exactly how high this thing is going to go? If it does anything like what happened to NVIDIA, again, it's going to blow people's expectations away. It's going to go way higher than what your average person thinks is going to happen. And with that being said, this could go upwards of $5 per coin. If it really is headed into mass adoption, the demand when mass adoption happens doesn't go away. So the demand continues to drive prices higher and higher and higher and higher. And in the case of stellar lumens, it could go way higher than $5. Look what happened to NVIDIA when it got mass adopted and the demand didn't stop. When the demand just continually increases because adoption is happening, the price of things, you really don't want to set a limit on it. You just want to ride throughout the whole pump and scale out as it goes to astronomical levels. That's how you want to play the market. That's how you're going to make the most money if you play the market with that kind of psychology. You want to remember that the trend is your friend. Don't try to be smarter than the markets. Follow the rules of markets. The trend is your friend. And when a big bull market starts, and especially a mass adoption cycle, who knows how high it's going to go? Nobody knows. But it's definitely going to blow the average person's expectation away. And when it does that, it's going to go astronomically high. So how high can stellar lumens go? I don't know, but I definitely think we will hit $5 for sure. And it personally wouldn't surprise me to see stellar lumens hit $10 before it tops out. You know, just stay focused on the big picture, you guys. Stop looking at all the wrong stuff. Everybody is focused on all the wrong things. You're reading news articles, you're watching TikTok videos and Instagram reels and Facebook reels. You guys, stop looking at all that stuff. Stop watching the news. Stop watching reels. Just focus on the charts. learn technical analysis, and you're going to make money in these markets, but not if you have your eyes focused on the wrong things. You got to keep them focused on the right things. How much success do you think somebody's going to have if they're always thinking about how everything is going to go wrong, right? They're not going to have very much success. If they're focused on the wrong things, their success is going to be greatly diminished. And the same is true for trading these markets. You got to focus on the right things. And the right thing is the charts. And if you zoom out on these charts and compare cycles and look at what happened when technologies were mass adopted, you get a really good idea of what's happening to crypto right now, which is we're ready for mass adoption. And if you stay focused on that and ignore everything else, you're going to get rich in these markets. So that's my view on Stellar Lumens. Big things is coming for this coin. Stay focused on the big picture. Again, this is where your eyes need to be. This is where you're going to make the most money. This is how you're going to print the most money in your bank account, in your crypto wallets. This is how you're going to get rich. Stay focused on this. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in to today's video. I love and appreciate every single one of you. I look forward to seeing you guys in future videos. And as always, stay profitable out there.